them, then again call them names, then again speak with so much opulence, and show them that there's nothing they can do.
Well said and interpreted.
Indeed. We'll start with you, Marcus, as the coordinator of the Elections Observation Group, which you're present in all elections that will take place, at least in Kenya. And this was one. An overview of what this looks like. I remember having a conversation with you a few months ago, and we were looking at other by-elections, and you said, well, a brand new IEBC then had a lot to prove. Has that gotten better over the last few months, and are there still indictments laying on the neck of the IEBC?
Thank you very much for having me, and I think it's good to remember and recall the conversation we had when the IEBC had just been set up, and of course this could be their third election. We had the November by-elections, and of course that was their first by-election, and a number of things have happened from an observer's point of view. I think these guys have ILOG has always made the distinction between the technical aspects of an election and the political aspects of an election. So at a technical level, ILOG, and if you read our statement on the eve of election, we commended IEBC for the technical preparations in terms of preparing their personnel to manage those elections, undertaking voter education in Ol Kalou. Of course, provision of strategic materials were done in good time. So at a technical level, the IEBC has done a commendable job. Even administratively speaking, of course, you are aware that in our statement, the ILOG chairperson declared the pre-election environment as heavily compromised. And of course, that was because of course, we cited incidents relating to vote buying, voter inducement, campaign disruptions and violence. And of course, with those things, we felt that the pre-election environment was somewhat compromised in terms of failing to meet the threshold of what we would call like a free and fair pre-election environment. But of course, what happened, these are election offences, which must be investigated. IEBC has no power to investigate election offences. As you are aware, with the passage of Election Offences Act in 2016, the power to prosecute was passed on to the office of the ODPP as a power then to investigate and then prosecute. But then they recourse to an administrative action by slapping an MP with a 2.5.
Maybe before we get to the to the cons, you see, we pride ourselves to be a constitutional state. And of course, we are guided, as you rightly put it, by the electoral regulations that we have. So there are various parameters that we look at for us to come out and say, yes, we've had a free, fair, and credible electoral process, whereby now the winners can say, this was okay, and the losers can equally come out and say, we lost fairly. So when you look at those key players, because you have now the institution, the IEBC, you have the voter, who is a major stakeholder who is always overlooked, but is the determinant of all this process and outcome. You also have like the security agencies. You have yourselves, the observers, which is just an element of goodwill to oversee the process. How would you rate the performance of now all these stakeholders, devoid of the political parties, because also even them, they are key players, they're the ones who are campaigning for their candidates. How would you rate our performance on a scale of 0 to 9 in terms of compliance with the same laws we have set for ourselves?
Well, in terms of the major players,
yes,
for this.
So you have the conduct of the voter, you have the security agencies, the political parties, the institutions.
So in terms of, if I would, so let me go stage by stage.
Okay.
So in terms of the voter, elections belong to the people.
Right.
So elections, as I said, is a celebration of human rights, especially the political rights. So to the extent that the people turned out yesterday in the numbers that they did. And for me, in a by-election, that was commendable. I think it was a celebration of their fundamental rights to make a decision. So in terms of showing up to vote, I think I would give them, where 9 is the highest, I would give them probably 7. That's my take.
Right.
In terms of political actors, both sides, Jerry, for DCP and UD and other political actors, a number of them were involved. I mean, there were parts where DCP was a victim, as you read our statement, where their campaign materials were vandalized, their rallies were disrupted. The same thing with the UDA. So in terms of the political actors, I would give them a 3. 3 out of 9. Yeah, I would give that because of while these have not been really investigated, but from what ILOG has documented, the disruptions, the inducement, the bribery, violence, they were attributed to all the political actors in the area, at least what our observer reports indicate. So in terms of the election management bodies, IEBC is just one of them. For example, these allegations, these offences that are being alleged, DCP is having a rally, it's disrupted. The campaign materials are vandalized, and vice versa, and of course other political parties. These must be investigated. So then that's why ILO called on relevant body, in this case DPP, to investigate. I think maybe investigation takes time, but in an election where people want to have immediate outcomes, I think there's need to speed up the process. So I would give ODPP maybe 2 out of 9. I would give IEBC, I don't know what Jerry would say, but I would give IEBC probably maybe a 7 out of 9. Like I was saying, administratively, technically they've done a good job. Everything went as was planned. They even, of course, they have a power. I mean, there's a committee on the code of conduct, and they slapped a member of parliament, the 2.5, for some of these claims. They went to court and he received a reprieve, so he never paid it. So at least it attempted to do something. So I would give IBC about 7 out of 9.
So some areas of improvement as we head to the